Today's episode of the Totally Rad Show is brought to you by Netflix. Coming up, HBO has another new show we're checking out, and this one's called Girls.
So here we are back in television talking about yet another TV show from HBO, another Sunday night TV show from HBO.
Yes.
Girls. So Girls is written, directed, and starring Lena Dunham, who you had said did a
movie called Tiny Furniture.
Tiny Furniture.
It's on Netflix Instant.
Which was a
Netflix.com/TRS.
It's
a big festival.
And she got connected up with Judd Apatow, who sort of took her under the wing and executive produced this series. It's about 4 girls living in New York City.
Oh, I know that show.
Yeah,
Sex and the City.
That's the one. It actually mentions Sex and the City in the
lot.
first episode. So it's about 4 girls. It's very mature, sort of like the sort of, you know, youth of the world, these young 20-somethings just fresh out of college, trying to make their way in New York City.
Quarter-life crisis.
Quarter-life crises. Very good, Dan. On that, Dan Trachtenberg, what do you think of the quarter-life crisis that is Girls?
I love the show. I didn't really love the first episode. It took a while. We've now seen 4. I guess the 5th one will have.
I've seen 5.
I've seen all of them. Okay,
There's
so
5.
5. But there will be, when this comes out, one that we
Another
haven't
one, yeah.
seen.
Right.
But it took a long time, but now it's definitely got its claws in me. It bears obvious. Actually, I didn't think it was obvious, but it bears comparison to Sex and the City, and I was thinking about it, and I think that Sex and the City. Girls may not like me for this, but yeah, I think Sex and the City represents.
You're married. What do you care?
I actually said this to Priscilla. She thought it was accurate, so whatever.
Now you just threw her under the bus. You totally just threw Priscilla under the bus.
I did. No, I think that Sex and the City represents what girls wish their relationships were like friendship or whatever. And I think Girls represents what girls don't want to admit their friendships are like, or relationships or whatever.
Interesting.
But it's funny that Judd Apatow produces it, because I feel similarly about it that I do some of his movies, where it's sometimes sometimes the moments aren't that funny, but they're so honest and real in a very specific way that I find it compelling and interesting. It's not. I don't nod my head going, "That's so true. That's so true." But I feel like it's that girl, it's that world, it's that scene's absolute.
Yeah, this feels true to whatever that world is that I'm not a part of.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think the casting is really interesting. Everyone, it's almost like Coen Brothers casting, but taken seriously. Like, everyone's got really interesting faces, really interesting impediments. You know, like it's very forthright but it's great. I love it. I just started to connect with all the characters and fall in love with it.
Cool, Jeff?
Yeah, I didn't want to watch this show. I avoided it. It seemed like exactly the thing I would not want to watch. I mean, I love Girls, but it just, I don't know. I got a sense of it from the advertising that it was like, it was a replacement for Sex and the City, or it was some sort of, just didn't seem like my kind of thing. And I'm here to tell you, I love this show. I am so blown away by it. I'm so impressed with it. This young woman, 24 years old, writing and directing it and starring in it. I don't want to like her. I'm jealous of that amount of talent in that young an age, and she's spectacular. The writing, as you said, is so honest and so truthful. I feel like if Woody Allen was reincarnated as a 24-year-old girl, and this is who it would be. He's not dead, but if he died, it's a whole series of events that would take place.
All right, I get it.
But it is. I love Woody Allen's films. I love that feeling of feeling so honest and so true and so uncomfortable sometimes that the dialogue is freaking whip smart, and there are scenes in this show. There are dialogue scenes where I could just I could fall through my television and just live in that. It is so smart, and so people say the things and they live in that uncomfortability, and it is, as you say, the performances, the actors that they've got, they're so comfortable with one another. It feels like how you really are behind the closed door in your bedroom. I mean, there's such a ballsiness and courage to this thing, because I really feel like she's being truthful about her life and her experiences with people, and she's sort of naked and
sort
shows
of naked.
Well, no, but I mean, shows like those things, warts and all, in a lot of ways. And wow, I couldn't be more impressed with this show. I sit there and it makes me wish I was a writer.
Yeah.
It's like that. It's really, great art is about truth, and I think this gets at truth in a way that most shows don't.
Can I just say one thing? Sorry.
Yeah, no, go.
Is what that makes it's like, it's not even. Those honest moments aren't necessarily, and I feel this way about Judd Apatow as well, not necessarily the best storytelling moment, but I mean, maybe that's all I want to say. Like, it's not even the cleanest way to articulate what they're trying to say, but she's just, because that's really what she thought, or what she heard her friends say, because it's not necessarily her life, but the life of what she observes. Yeah. Like, she just puts it in there, because that's really what that would be for them, you know? And I think that's, it's interesting. I find it very interesting.
Yeah, I enjoyed this show. It was hard for me to figure out what I was watching, per se. I mean, it's good. I didn't love it. And I knew, I had a feeling you would love it, because one of the things that sort of rubbed me the wrong way is that I could really hear the writing of it. It's not like, a lot of times the thing that is said is like the balance between the fact that you are seeing something that is so clearly shooting for gritty realism of that generation, that then combined with saying the perfectly worded, most intellectual thing at every given moment, the balance of that is hard for me. Whereas I feel like, because none of the characters fumble, you know what I mean? They may fumble with choices, like that character is faulting in that situation, but they always have the perfect thing to say, which kind of rubbed me the wrong way. That said, there are relationships in this that are like the most relationship, like the girl who's dating the guy and she doesn't really like him anymore, but yet it's like, what does that mean? She's confused about it, and he's. That it's the most uncomfortable thing in the world, because you're just like, God, I've either been in that situation, or I know somebody who's currently in that situation, or whatever. Those things are so great. And then there are other moments where I'm like, I get why this scene is here, because that might be what is happening in your bedroom, but at a certain point, I watch TV so that I don't want to see things that are happening in people's bedrooms for the sake of seeing them. So there are times, I kept going back and forth with this show where it was like, wow, I'm really enjoying this and I really love this and I feel like this is such a great realistic slice to, wow, this is really not enjoyable for me, and I see the art houseness of it right now. And it would go in from these places that were like, this is great, this is, as you were saying, it's like I'm seeing a scene, this could have been a play, this could be the best play that I've ever seen. And then it flips into this other thing where I'm like, I don't know why this is here. And it may be something like what you were talking about with Judd Apatow, where it's sort of like that, it's there because it was there. At some point that happened, so it goes in. You know what I mean? Rather than this is the best thing to move the story forward. But supposedly it's very controversial. I mean, I don't quite get why it's so controversial.
I don't get it either.
Well, I think the big thing about it is that there's no black people. Is that the big issue?
Well, no, I read it.
I
think that's like an article that said, I saw one guy.
She responded to that, I know. She's like, just about my life.
I don't like black people.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
I don't know any black people. Sorry, guys. So there's a lot of controversy, but at the end of the day, it's just a TV show. Watch it or don't watch it. Your choice. You know what I mean? I think there's enough to enjoy about it. Am I going to watch it all through the season? Probably not. But these two gents adore it. So clearly there is some fun to be had. So check it out. Sundays, right? Sunday is like, what don't they air on Sundays
Every
on
single
HBO?
thing.
Every
Not just
single
HBO. Every
Oh, yeah, The
AMC,
Killing
The
and
Killing
all
and
that
Mad
stuff.
Men. It's disgusting.
So Sunday is
Disgusting.
your stay-at-home day.
Yeah.
So that is Girls on HBO. All right, everybody, be sure to stick around. We're going to be answering one of your Twitter questions right after this. But first, we want to thank our sponsors. Dan.
Netflix, y'all. Netflix.
Is that the country version of Netflix?
It steams. It steams. It streams TV
Get
shows
yourself
and
together.
movies,
Here it goes. Here you go.
directly to your home. Or
Office or car, maybe.
yeah, because you could be out and about on your iPad, your iPhone. They've got Netflix streaming. Also your PC, your Mac, your Xbox 360, your PS3, all of those things. It's great to stream television shows. It's great to, so there's some finds on there. There's a movie that I watched when I was a kid and I loved called Just Right, starring Jeremy Piven and Sherilyn Fenn, about a guy who drives the Hollywood Stars tour thing, and then
saw it when I was a kid.
yeah, meets an actress, and they have a love affair, and it's this wonderful wish fulfillment.
W-R-I-T.
W-R-I-T-E. He's a writer.
I knew it couldn't be not a pun.
Right. And that's on Netflix streaming. I took a trip down memory lane with Netflix. You get a free 30-day trial membership. Go to netflix.com/TRS and sign up now. Or if you're in the UK or Ireland, go to netflix.co.uk/TRS or netflix.ie/TRS.
Very nice with the letters. All right, people, put your pants on. We're out.
Join us tomorrow for our review of Men in Black 3.
Today's Twitter question sent in with the hashtag TRSQ was sent in from Matt2314. He asks, what's your favorite movie that you don't enjoy watching? Now that sounds a little silly, but he gives the example Requiem for a Dream, which makes us realize what he means. Movies that are difficult to watch, but you realize how wonderful they are. Mine is one I know you'll agree with, Dear Zachary. I think is one of the greatest,
great. That's
one of the
perfect.
greatest movies ever made. A
Need to watch it
documentary,
again.
Yeah.
but it is heart-wrenching, and I mean, it tore me apart when I watched it. And it was one of those movies where it's like, I don't think I could ever revisit this, but every human being should see it.
Yeah.
Documentaries are great because they're so, even though the storytelling is so great in that one, but they're so information-based. It's like, once you have the information, they're great for this answer. You don't need to watch it again.
Right.
I have another one.
Go for it.
United 93.
I revisit that. I like that.
Really? Oh boy, I've never watched a movie that
actually
made
never
me
seen that one.
angry. That made me like enraged. Like I wanted to hurt someone.
Yeah.
It was
I
not
felt
a
that
pleasant
way after
experience. but-
Gladiator. Yeah.
What's that?
Any others?
Felt that way
Schindler's
after
List is kind of
Gladiator.
on that list. Boys Don't Cry is kind of on that list.
You're just
Naming.
movies.
I mean, movies that are great, but hard to and you never feel like let's just pop that in.
I don't know that
Any
I'm that
others?
way though.
I think
with
Dear
those.
Zachary nailed it.
Yeah, I think Dear
that's, like,
Zachary is the best
The
answer.
perfect one.
Well, thanks for sending that in, Matt. 2314.